We're a firm of patent and trademark attorneys, both here in Australia and also in foreign patent offices as well. We've got offices in Sydney and Melbourne. It's 90 people, so you've got to accommodate 90 people in 2 different spaces. You've got to provide light, power, they've got to get to work. So we really just started to talk about it internally within the partnership, and also my COO, Julian Perry, was very passionate about this issue. One thing that he came to is he said, look, I think we should go out and actually, there's people that are experts in this sort of stuff. They'll come in and they'll do an audit and really basic sort of things like about your energy usage. That auditor looked beyond things of just energy usage, but said, well, you need to be thinking about your travel. You need to be thinking about your paper usage and also your power and your lighting. Things like, our computers being left on overnight, people just getting up and leaving. Well, hang on, everybody, why don't you just turn your computer off? You don't need to leave it running. Leaving your light on in your office was sort of crazy. If you were heading home at the end of the night, they could be turned off. So we just started really simple things like that. At that time, our new Sydney office was only 1 or 2 years old. We hadn't moved into it. Lots of halogen lighting had been installed, and we were told that that was a high usage of energy. And so we went through a process of replacing all of those lights. So there was an upfront cost of, I suppose, replacing lighting with LED lighting, but it has a massive impact in regard to your energy usage. Air conditioning's a tricky one because it's controlled within these sort of tall buildings. It's controlled by the building owner. So there's sort of little that we can do except control when it's perhaps turned on and when it's turned off. And so we do actually ask that it only be on in sort of core business hours. So it certainly doesn't get left running beyond the core business hours on the floor. Well, obviously you receive an electricity bill regularly, so you can actually see how much energy usage you are actually incurring every quarter. And we actually have an external auditor, so we just provide our electricity bills to the auditor, the greenhouse gas auditor that we've engaged, and they will look at that and keep a track of it. So they don't just measure our electricity bills, but they actually look at our travel that the staff make and everybody makes in regard to the firm. And it's not just interstate travel or international travel, but they also look at where our staff are located relative to the office. We've got dedicated video conferencing between both of our offices. So while there is often a need for face-to-face meetings, where possible, we'll do things by video conference. Probably the big thing for us is going to be reducing the amount of paper that we actually have stored on site and that we use. And so it's not just about the paper itself, but it's about the cost and the effort and the electricity that goes into printing onto that paper and or photocopying it and sending it as well. So we're going to be more and more moving to a totally electronic-based system. So if you're using cloud computing, then there's a whole computer system that's off-site, basically. And so you're only needing to use a very small portion of that off-site computing power when you need it, and you only use what you need when you need it. And so there is a cost saving there and energy saving as well. We do have an internal cloud within the organisation as well. So there's some things that we can go off-site for, but a lot of things we have on-site as well. Internally, what we've done is go through a process of server virtualization. And so we did that some years ago now, which allowed us to reduce the number of effectively the computers and servers that we have on site on the floor to run all the systems that we have. Rather than a single server for each computing program, what we have is one server running a whole bunch of different computer resources simultaneously. So we went from having 30 different servers down to just 6. So, it's a fifth of the number that we had previously. The more computer power you have on a site, the more air conditioning you need. And so if we can minimise the number of servers, then we can minimise the air conditioning need. So the design of our computer room is actually quite interesting because it's actually been designed to effectively direct airflow amongst the servers and amongst the computers that are in that room in a way that minimises the amount of air conditioning that's actually needed for that room. Our IT manager has got the statistics in regard to cost saving. We've undoubtedly generated less greenhouse gas than we have in the past. We're also seeing clients, a small number of clients at that stage, starting to talk about it, starting to talk about our credentials, from our green credentials when it came to responding to tenders and things like that. I think we'd like to see ourselves, and I'm fairly confident we are, leading the way in regard to looking at this sort of issue of minimising our electricity usage and minimising our greenhouse gases. So it's something that we're very much focused on and feel that we're a leader in regard to this profession here in Australia. So we're keen for our clients to know that we do that. It's part of the culture and values of the organisation.